is a presentation of Main Street Media, your source for news, sports, and information on Main Street in Middle Tennessee.
Welcome in. I'm Devin O'Day, and it is Monday, and it is our Menu Monday. Hopefully, you guys will leave me some of your favorite cabin ideas, cabin cuisine. It's that time of year, and I've coined a phrase, cabinating. We cabinate and we cook wonderful things, and I just want to find out what is your special, and what is a way that you stretch your food dollar. I love sharing tips like that. So if you've got one, please let us know. Give us a check-in on the show today. We're going to start out with something that's near and dear to my heart, and that is reminding people that it is the time of year to kind of tweak our lives and to kind of get a good start, don't you think? And one of the things that I want to encourage everybody to do is, especially if you have kids and you have teenagers, don't forget to show them how not to text and drive. AT&T did a wonderful campaign. They did more than commercials. They kind of did what we do here at Main Street. We don't really do commercials. We tell brand stories. And what AT&T did, they started a campaign and they did these mini movies. And it was a program called It Can Wait. And I think if you tell your kids not to text and drive, the best way to really show them is to literally show them by not texting and driving. Take a look.
Boy, me too. I know, right? She was like my favorite. Wait, isn't it the season finale? Janie likes Ryan. Janie likes
Girls.
Ryan.
She sort of does like him though, right?
Yeah. Muffin!
No.
Oh. Go!
Have fun. What happened?
Goggles.
Those goggles. Bye. Hey, I'll pick you up at 3.
Hey, don't freak out.
Uh-oh, what?
The kids left the gate open. You with Janie?
Just dropped them all off the pool. Where's Muffin?
No idea. Honey, this is like the second time this week.
Maybe he's at the Millers again.
If I find him, I'll let you know. I'm gonna be so late. I gotta go. Love you.
Hi, love you.
Muffin! Was that Janie's mom?
Who are you?
I'm Justin. I live up the road. Do you mind dropping me off?
Sure, but, you know Janie?
I'm a friend of hers at school.
I used to love soccer when I was your age.
Yeah, it's fun.
What position you want to play?
Striker.
Ladies love strikers. Which house is it?
A couple more.
You really shouldn't be out here by yourself.
Here's Muff. Are you 40?
Yes, I mean, he's our dog.
Do you want to answer that?
Nah, I'd never with a kid in the car.
It's okay. I'm not here. I'm there.
Just an instant can change our lives, right? It can wait. AT&T created the entire campaign and its powerful message. No matter where you are, no matter what you do, it is a poignant message, and it is seconds that can change your life forever and change the life of someone else. And it's important to always have those messages and maybe share those with your kids. Those little films are very, very impactful. Speaking of impactful, we lost one of the A team. The musicians, the Nashville Cats, the A team. Back during Christmas, the late Harold Bradley did. I shared an interview with him, and he talked about the A team. Well, over the weekend, we lost Pig Robbins, one of the most incredible piano players ever to be in Nashville, and part of his story is told beautifully by the Musicians Hall of Fame. Joe Chambers did an incredible set of interviews, and we did a little clip, but we'd love to share a little bit of the life of Pig Robbins.
For us. I just can't get tired of that, man. It's so cool to be sitting here in the room with you when you're doing that, and just, I think people are really going to be amazed to know that was you and not Charlie Rich, that did that. Not knocking Charlie at all, but I'm just saying that
Charlie was a great piano player, man. But he was more into blues and jazz, but he was a great piano player.
And another classic riff that you just came up with on the spur of the moment, which is totally amazing, was the Crystal Gale Brown Eyes Blue. Could you do that too? When did you know that you wanted to be a musician?
Well, I always like to play, try to play what I heard on the radio, So I've ever since I've been old enough to remember, probably.
What did you listen to on the radio?
Music?
Yeah.
Oh, country, of course.
And you had sight earlier in life, right?
Yeah.
Was that a large reason that you perhaps went to playing a musical instrument?
Well, I don't know if it was or not, but I went to the blind school for the blind, and they came around when I was in second grade, said, asking the kids if they wanted to take piano lessons, and I said, yeah, I'd like to, because I thought, after I learned the keyboard a little bit, I'd be playing what I heard on the radio, but they taught classical stuff, and they frowned on country or boogie woogie or.
So you started out with piano? That was your instrument then?
Yeah.
Did you ever pick up any other instruments?
I played trumpet in the band, school band.
Did you excel at that too?
Yeah, made first chair or whatever they call it.
Do you still play?
No.
Hurts your jaws, doesn't it?
Well, back in the 50s when I got out of school and was trying to make a living with music, the rock and roll deal was going on, and the sax was the thing, not trumpet,
Yeah,
So,
that's what Cheryl played.
yeah.
Do you remember the first time you performed in front of other people other than the family?
I don't know if this is the first time or not, but I remember we went to this club, a bunch of us teenagers, wasn't really even supposed to be in it, and I think there was five of us, I guess, and we made $1.25 a piece.
That was in the 50s?
Yeah.
So that you could probably have bought about 15 Cokes then.
Yeah, probably.
Which was not bad. That's
Or five beers, A beer was about 20 or 25 cents,
So we had a beer then. Okay. And so then what progressed after that, Pig? What was your next?
Oh, I don't know. Just playing from club to club, and.
Were you in bands or just solo?
Oh, no, bands, yeah.
Country music?
Yeah, country and rockabilly. Rockabilly was the thing then. And
were you influenced by Elvis?
yeah, I guess I was. And Jerry Lee and Carl Perkins, that whole Memphis deal,
Probably Jerry Lee, maybe more than Elvis, you think?
Well, yeah.
And so what got you into playing in the studio?
Well, I met this couple, and we tried to. They were songwriters, but they couldn't play any instrument, so I could play the piano, and we'd try to write songs together, and we'd make our own little home demos. Then back then you could write a song, put it down with a guitar and a vocal, or a piano and vocal, or whatever, and take it around, and publishers would listen to it and either accept it or reject it, whatever. Mm-hmm. But that's how I got started, taking our songs around and to publishers, and finally run into this guy named Murray Nash. He was with Mercury Records earlier in Acuff Rose and people back in the 50s and so forth. And anyway, he had started, or was going to start a independent label this was back in 57. So anyway, back then you could cut a session and take it to New York, something like that, and lease it, and get what they call front money, and get $5,000-10,000 or whatever, depending on how sold the company was on. Anyway, so the guy, Murray, taught me into joining the union. And I went down and joined the union, and I played he had a session coming, so I played the session the day I joined the union, went and played the session, and didn't work another session for 3 or 4 months.
Yeah.
But anyway, that was the way I first started.
Do you remember the first record that you played on that was really a hit record?
Yeah, the first one ever was White Lightning with George Jones.
How old were you?
Well, that'd have been about 20.
20 years old.
Yeah.
And your very first record was White Lightning.
Yeah, 20 or 21. About 21, I guess, because we cut it in 58 and it came out in 59, so I'd have been 21.
And was that recorded in Nashville?
Yeah.
Do you remember where?
Yeah, it's over at Owen Bradley's studio then before Columbia bought it out.
So was it in the house or in the Quonset hut?
It was down in the basement.
In the basement of the house?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And
that might have been before they ever had, they had the Quonset, but I don't know if they had, I think they had a filming studio back there then, and did most of the recording down in the basement there.
And do you remember about how long it was before you just pretty much got booked all the time doing sessions, and when it just became like a full-time job?
Well, the more hit records you played on, of course your name got around and people would want to start using you more. But it was probably 61 before last half of 60, 61 before I could start calling it a living,
Mm-hmm. And did you ever go out?
What a delicious interview with the endearing Pig Robbins. And he's part of the A-Team, and he passed away this weekend in his sleep. And I guess that's the way we all want to go, peacefully in our sleep. And he gave us, when there was a game show called Name That Tune. And I can name that tune in 2 notes, or I can name that tune. Well, the reason that you can name that tune is because of people like Pig Robbins, who gave you different intros to each song, and they were so unique and so different. And it's just incredible. I think about he and Harold Bradley and people that are no longer with us. But I encourage you to go to YouTube and go to the Musicians Hall of Fame, click subscribe, and watch. There's 40 minutes. There's a 2-part interview with Pig that is just fascinating. He talks about working with Patsy Cline and Tanya Tucker and all of these great songs, and of course, Charlie Rich. But just a really, really great interview. And right now we're going to go and find out what's going on today and this week in country music and music along Broadway and all over the place. The hits list, we got Tracy Hits joining us. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing good. I'm so glad that you were played that, because I actually met Pig a couple months ago. He was recording up in Madison at the Round Room Studios. And man, talk about some history. I got to spend the afternoon with him, and it was amazing.
And he was still recording now. I mean, he still was doing sessions, and everybody wanted Pig's take on an intro with a piano. It's just like, just let him listen and let him come up with something unique. And he did always come up with something unique.
Yes, it was amazing. It was amazing to watch, for sure.
Well, what's going on, my friend? Tell me a little bit about what's happening in Nashville.
Well, this week is Hot Chicken Week. So I thought I would point out some of the places that are on the Hot Chicken Week that also have live music. So Wild Horse Saloon is on there. You can usually find Peyton Taylor playing there on some Saturdays. She won't be there this week, but they have some great food at Wild Horse, but the hot chicken's great. National Underground, which is Gavin DeGraw's place, always has live music, and they're on Hot Chicken Week. The Row, if you sit in the bar area, you'll be able to hear live music. I feel, then they have great food too. I feel like every time I've been there, it's someone from American Idol or The Voice playing. So great people there. And then, of course, Acme, Feed and Seed, a great place to go in general. But on this weekend,
Morales.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
And you can hear live music. They have such a different take on live music too. But I love on Friday, they have the Country Club Day, which is the Cowpokes. And they're there at noon, which is the perfect time to eat hot chicken.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, we encourage everybody to take advantage of Hot Chicken Week. And a big shout out to our friends at Party Fowl, who really have taken hot chicken and they're expanding around the world. And hopefully we will be talking about that in the next few weeks, about how, Nashville hot chicken is a thing. Hattie B's and Bolton's really kind of started the movement, and Prince's is the OG. I will tell you that before anybody, it was Prince's, and they are the ones that really created. And Prince's has a location. Do they still have their location at Old Smoky?
I don't think they do, actually. I was there a couple weeks ago, and I don't think they were there anymore.
Well, there have been some changes during COVID, and I'll be quite honest with you. I have not been a lot of the places, my old haunts. I have not been, I've not really, I haven't been really going out quite as much. So
well, that's fair.
And I think that most people are kind of that way, but we encourage people to kind of, take your precautions and get out. But I will say that even though you've had your vaccinations, doesn't mean you won't get sick. I'm living proof of that.
Yes, that is true. It is good to see you back again.
Thank you. I am glad to be back, for darn sure. And there are some remnants that I'm still dealing with just a little bit, You just got to get your health back. Well, tell me some of the other things that are happening other than Hot Chicken Week.
Other than Hot Chicken, well, so as you know, the American Legion Post 82 does great music on Tuesday nights, and that's back again it started January 11th, and they're definitely going through March 29th. So if you want to go to the Legion, it is so fun.
It is fun, and it is for all ages. You will see 20-somethings dancing with 80-somethings. It is the coolest thing I have ever seen, ever. And so if you like to dance and you like good music and you like good country music, it is the place to find really great music.
It is, and it's great for locals. It's a really cool local spot. Not that we don't want tourists to come, but the locals really love it there, and it's super fun. And then I'll just kind of tell you some of the things I'm doing this week, in addition to other things. But I don't know if you know Maggie Baugh, but she's amazing. And
she's so good. Yeah.
she is hosting an event at Third and Lindsley on Wednesday. And one of her friends is Lewis Bryce and Adam Hambrick. And so she's got some really great friends. So I'm going to that on Wednesday at Third and Lindsley. But also on Wednesday, if you can't make it over there, great doubleheader at the listening room. You've got Jake Hoot hosting around the early round at 6. And the thing about the listening room is I like to stay for both. And so to find one where you're like, yes, I like the people, not that you would ever get a bad experience, but I'm like, these are my people and I'm going to eat twice at the listening room. The apple chicken sandwich. But then at 8:30, the show is Tyler Farr, Kylie Fry, and Grace Tyler. So, I mean, if you're ever going to go to the listening room, Wednesday is the day to go.
Oh my Lord. Good music all the time in Nashville, right?
Yes, 100%. And then a little bit different. I love the Skirmahorn. I love the symphony. But this week, Thursday through Saturday, they've got the Disco Fever Get Down Tonight, which sounds amazing and fun.
You know, the Skirmahorn and our Nashville Symphony has really found a way to make music accessible. It's not so highbrow and they do this wonderful thing for kids throughout, the summer, things like the instrument petting zoo, where they can go and see some of the instruments in person and get involved and exposed to music in a different way. And just because, and you might not know, like Pig Robbins said, it's like he got started, they taught him at the School of the Blind, which is also the same School of the Blind that Ronnie Millsap went to, by the way. And, but they taught some amazing classical stuff, but it's the thing that fed all the other music. So I think that's really cool.
Yeah, I'm excited about that. I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it there because I got other things that I'm going to tell you about that I'm going to. But again, back at the listening room on Thursday, the Troy Gentry Foundation is doing an event with Tracy Lawrence and Andy Grigg. Again, I love the 90s, so that's a great one, and obviously for a good cause there to be able to see those guys.
Oh yeah,
in such a cool setting. Then Saturday, I know that you do Backstage Nashville, so we don't talk about it every week because it's just awesome every week. But I wanted to point it out this week because our friend Ira Dean is coming, and I love him.
Might have had a little something to do with that. I'm just going to say Ira is just one of my favorite performers ever. And if you've not seen him live, he's making his debut at Backstage Nashville this Saturday, backstagenashville.net. Not only is he a great player, an incredible musician, but he is the funniest human being I have ever heard tell a story. He is so great. So make sure that you are in the seats to see this because it's going to be his Backstage Nashville debut.
Yeah, like I said, I would talk about Backstage Nashville every week if I could, which I guess I can. But yeah, Ira Dean, hands down. Like I said, we did that event without you, which we were very sad about. But he crushed it. And just like you said, he's so funny and his songs are great. And yeah, he's awesome. So that's what I wanted to point out this week for sure. The other thing that's a little bit different that I'm excited about, Franklin Theater, I love it there. But they are having the Black Violin. And so it's three performances, 2 on Saturday, 1 on Sunday. And it's classically trained string players who have a studio album out that went #1 on the Billboard Classical chart. And they're really just kind of taking violin and mixing it with hip hop. And it just sounds like absolutely
fantastic. Oh man, what a neat thing. You find some really interesting things that I don't always even get word about, except for the hits list. Where can they find more information about the hits list?
Well, I created thehitslist.com. So that'll go to my regular website as well. But if you go to Hits and Branding, you can find me there. And I'll be putting everything up there. And then one last thing I will tell you, I'm going to see the Beach Boys on Sunday at the Ryman. And before that, yes, Beach Boys. But before that, we're going to the Beatles brunch at the City Winery, which I've been wanting to check out. So jam-packed weekend for me to be going places. And I hope to see everyone out there as well.
And if you can't go, you can watch every Monday. For the most part, every Monday, the hits list is part of it. Hitsandbranding.com. If you were an artist and you want to get involved in creating a brand for yourself, Tracy is your girl. She is the person who does that. And she works with companies, with corporations, with sports teams, and with musicians, and puts it all together in a nice, tidy package. And I love what you do, Tracy.
Thank you. I love being here. I love telling people where they should be going this week, and always in Nashville.
And a brand new website, thehitslist.com. So thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you, Devin. Great to see you.
Likewise. Bye. Well, it's not just music in Nashville, but there's a tie-in from Nashville to North Louisiana that has happened for years. And we talked about Pig Robbins being on the road and playing with people like Jerry Lee Lewis, Faraday, Louisiana. Then we've got Michael Rhodes, one of the best bass players to ever be in Nashville. You've got Southern gospel like the Hemphills and the Martins out of West Monroe. All that Northeast corridor. Andy Griggs is from there that Tracy just mentioned. Trace Adkins, Tim McGraw. So much music comes out of that area. But I didn't realize there was a tie-in with Deana Carter. Her father, Fred Carter Jr., was just recognized in the Northeast Louisiana Music Trail. Tammi Arender, my friend from RFD TV and News Channel 5, was there.
We are officially unveiling the first sign on the Northeast Louisiana Music Trail honoring Fred Carter Jr.
It's the first of its kind sign in Louisiana.
It made perfect sense to start the trail with a sign dedicated and honoring Fred Carter Jr., who has played with everybody on the planet.
Doyle Jeter has been on a mission to honor musicians who grew up in Northeast Louisiana.
I moved here from Pennsylvania late 60s, and I found out real fast that this area of the country, in its particular Northeast Louisiana, is where the heart and soul and Mississippi of music in general. The blues and country and gospel and rock and roll.
Got it. So the launch of the Northeast Louisiana Music Trail starts with Fred Carter Jr., a talented guitarist who played for numerous A-list singers and bands. He toured with Roy Orbison and Conway Twitty, played with Willie Nelson and Bob Dylan, just to name a few. His daughter, Deana Carter, famous for the 1997 Song of the Year hit Strawberry Wine, says people know her dad for his guitar playing, but his musical talents go far beyond the guitar.
What I understand, he was playing fiddle at about 2 years old, just virtuoso like no other, and then picked up the guitar when he knew the hayride needed a guitar player, like later on in life. But he just always, they talk about him being a dreamer in the cotton fields and wanting to, not pick cotton. He wanted to be playing music.
So they were honored when Jeter and several others worked to raise the money and put up this permanent marker in the heart of town.
Dad would be so proud. He would just, I know he's here with us, he loved his hometown. He loved his family, and they instilled that in him, and he instilled that in us. And so I said earlier, it's more for him about family even, but music has just been a part of the family, so you can't separate the two. They go together.
Deana, along with Bobby Bridger, held a concert at the historic Princess Theater in downtown Winsboro, paying tribute to not only Fred Carter Jr., but those who love the rich musical roots of this region.
We have coming up signs that are already in motion for Webb Pierce from West Monroe, Hoss Logan from Marouge, Tony Joe White from Oak Grove, and Bobby Bridger from Columbia, and it goes on and on. Henry and Tookie, blues giants from Rayville, and it's really great. We're finally getting to thank the performers, the musicians, and in a very real way to thank the people that have supported this music for, in our case, for 42 plus years, but in general for hundreds of years in this area.
In Winsboro, Louisiana, I'm Tammi Arender for RFD TV.
That's up in my neck of the woods. My grandfather, the late Reverend Larry Walker, was a pastor at the Crockett Point Baptist Church out in the middle of some soybean fields in Crowville, Louisiana. Or if you're from there, kind of like Shelbyville, it's Crowville. Well, we have got such great stories in today's show, but we're going to close today with one of my favorite artists. It's his birthday. It is Tony Jackson, and he is one of the best country singers out there right now. And a big happy birthday to Tony Jackson. He is part of the Old Dominion Barn Dance in Virginia, where my friend Donna Meade Dean, Donna Meade from the Stockyard, married Jimmy Dean, and they together, and now Donna carries on the tradition of the Old Dominion Barn Dance, a live show that is every week, and Tony is part of that. He's a regular, as well as touring the country. But we're going to close with his appearance on Country Road Television and Larry's Country Diner. And if you don't know about Larry's Country Diner, go online. You can subscribe. You can subscribe to Country Road Television. It's some of the best country music you will find. And since we've been talking about musicians, you will see playing next to him on this particular tape, Jimmy Capps. And on this date, back in 2014, he was inducted into the Musicians Hall of Fame. And Jimmy left us, and he's playing probably the best guitar in heaven that you would ever find. There's a great band in heaven, I will tell you right now. But just looking back and sharing music, because that's what we do every day. Happy Monday to you. And I hope that you know that to be safe and be kind, and remember most of all that you are loved. Here's an oldie but a goodie done the most beautiful of ways with Tony Jackson. Have a great day, everybody.
Step right up. Come on in. If you'd like to take the grand tour of the lonely house that once was home, sweet home, I have nothing here to sell you, just some things that I will tell you, some things I know will chill you to the bone. Over there sits the chair where she'd bring the paper to me and sit down on my knee and whisper, oh, I love you. But now she's gone forever, and this old house will never be the same without the love that we once knew. Straight ahead, that's the bed where we lay in love together, and Lord knows we had a good thing going here. See her picture on the table. Don't it look like she'd be able just to touch me and say, good morning, dear. There's her rings, all her things, and her clothes are in the closet like she left them when she tore my world apart. And as you leave, you'll see the nursery. Oh, she left me without mercy, taking nothing but our baby and my heart. Step right up, come on in.
Great. Excellent.
Nothing like the sunrise with your coffee in the morning, or taking a good book off the shelf. Another thing I love the most than being on my own is together with everybody else. Together like a southern Sunday sun.